Ever notice how after a day of snacking on packaged ultra-processed foods, your focus feels off and decisions get harder? It's not just in your head. These foods may actually impact your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for self-control, planning, and productivity. So what's really going on inside your brain, and how can small changes help you stay sharp and in control? Let's break it down. Ultra-processed foods can disrupt neurotransmitter balance, weakening decision-making and impulse control. When you regularly eat foods loaded with refined sugars, artificial additives, and unhealthy fats, your brain chemistry starts to shift in subtle but important ways. Neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which help regulate mood, motivation, and self-control, can become dysregulated. This means you might feel more impulsive, more prone to cravings, and less able to stay focused on tasks that require sustained attention. Think about how easy it is to reach for another snack even when you're not hungry. That's not just willpower, it's brain chemistry being nudged off balance. Over time, this pattern can reduce the efficiency of your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, decision-making, and self-control. A practical step here is to start swapping ultra-processed snacks with whole food options like nuts, fruit, or yogurt. Even small changes can help stabilize neurotransmitter activity and support clearer thinking and better productivity throughout your day. Chronic inflammation from ultra-processed foods can damage neurons in the prefrontal cortex. Many ultra-processed foods contain ingredients that promote low-grade, ongoing inflammation in the body and brain, such as trans fats, excess sugar, and chemical additives. While you might not feel this inflammation directly, your brain certainly does. Over time, this inflammatory state can impair neuron function and even lead to structural changes in areas like the prefrontal cortex. This is the region you rely on to organize your day, solve problems, and make thoughtful decisions. If it's under constant inflammatory stress, you may notice brain fog, slower thinking, or difficulty concentrating. A real-life example is feeling mentally drained after a day of eating fast food or packaged snacks instead of balanced meals. To counter this, try incorporating anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, berries, fatty fish, and olive oil. These choices help protect your brain cells and keep your prefrontal cortex functioning at a higher level. Frequent spikes in blood sugar from processed foods impair focus and mental stability. Ultra-processed foods are often high in refined carbohydrates and sugars that cause rapid increases in blood glucose levels. This might give you a quick burst of energy, but is usually followed by a crash that leaves you feeling tired, irritable, and unfocused. These constant ups and downs put stress on your brain, particularly the prefrontal cortex, which depends on a steady energy supply to function properly. Imagine trying to concentrate on a complex task while your energy is swinging up and down. It becomes much harder to stay on track. Over time, these fluctuations can reduce your brain's efficiency and make it more difficult to maintain attention or make clear decisions. A simple fix is to pair carbohydrates with protein and healthy fats, or choose whole grains instead of refined ones. This helps keep your blood sugar stable and supports consistent mental performance throughout the day. Ultra-processed diets are linked to reduced brain volume in regions responsible for executive function. Research has shown that diets high in ultra-processed foods are associated with structural changes in the brain, including reductions in gray matter in areas like the prefrontal cortex. This is significant because executive functions, things like planning, prioritizing, and controlling impulses, are all managed in this region. When the brain physically shrinks or loses density in these areas, those abilities can weaken. You might notice it as increased procrastination, difficulty organizing tasks, or feeling mentally scattered. It's not just about feeling tired, it's about the brain's structure adapting to poor nutritional input over time. The encouraging part is that the brain is also adaptable in a positive direction. By gradually shifting toward whole, nutrient-dense foods, you can support brain plasticity and potentially improve these functions. Small, consistent dietary changes can make a meaningful difference in how your brain performs. Addictive properties of ultra-processed foods can hijack the prefrontal cortex and reduce self-control. Ultra-processed foods are designed to be hyper-palatable, combining sugar, salt, and fat in ways that strongly activate the brain's reward system. This can lead to patterns that resemble addiction, where cravings override rational decision-making. The prefrontal cortex, which normally helps you say no or delay gratification, becomes less effective when constantly overridden by reward signals. You may find yourself eating out of habit or craving rather than actual hunger, even when you know it's not the best choice. Over time, this weakens your ability to regulate behavior in other areas too, including work and productivity. A helpful strategy is to create friction between you and these foods. Don't keep them within easy reach, and replace them with healthier options that still feel satisfying. By doing this, you give your prefrontal cortex a better chance to stay in control and make decisions that align with your long-term goals.